Hello everyone, this is Brittney Andrade with Successful Solutions. We're going to talk about empowering early educators and how the CDA credential can transform careers. So is the CDA credential beneficial to early educators? So the first question, what is the National CDA credential and who should consider earning it? So it is a national credential, so it is accepted in all states. And it's a process that will show that you can provide and you understand high quality education and care for children birth to 5 years old. And who should consider earning it? Anyone. How does the CDA credential differ from other early childhood education certifications? So it is nationally accepted, as I mentioned. So you could potentially earn it in one state and you're moving and it'll be accepted in that state. There may be other, of course, state requirements in addition to, but the basics of it would be the same, that you understand and you've been through this process and it would be accepted. Next question, how does one earn a national CDA credential? So it is a multi-step process. The first step would be the training. So there is 120 hours of required training. The training is specific to your age group. So if you want to apply for an infant toddler credential, you would take infant toddler training, preschool, so forth and so on. So then you also have to submit or complete a professional portfolio. So that portfolio is going to be a binder or a digital document, all of this stuff that has your training in it. It has lesson plans, it has book recommendations, it has short little paragraphs on how you show children how to express themselves, how you keep them safe and healthy, all of these things. So the requirements for that portfolio are actually found in the competency standards book. So this is a version, this is the family one. So it actually gives you all of the step-by-step on how to create a professional portfolio, what order to put it in, all of that stuff. So then next you'll want your work/volunteer experience. That has to be 480 hours. And you can complete that at multiple different programs. You just need pay stubs or whatever to check off that you do have those hours. And then you will reach out to a PD specialist. You'll create an account on the CDA Council's website. You will reach out to a PD specialist. They're the person that's going to do the verification visit, which is a phrase for an observation. So the PD specialist will contact you back and say, yes, I can do your verification visit, or I cannot, and then you'll find somebody else. Once you have somebody that agrees, you'll submit your application to the CDA Council. So your application does include an application fee that covers the cost of the PD specialist coming to your program to do that observation for you, and it also covers the CDA exam. So you will submit that application with that application fee, and on that application you will include the PD specialist number, PD number. So then once the CDA Council looks through everything and they agree, they will send you an email back saying it's time ready to schedule. So you will schedule your official observation and you will schedule your official CDA exam. And those can be done in any order. And then once you complete all of those, the information goes back to the CDA Council. They will determine whether or not to award the CDA credential. What does the CDA verification visit entail, and how should candidates prepare for it? So it is essentially 4 hours, and the PD specialist will come in. They will observe you for 2 hours. They will follow you around the classroom. In that time, you will be the lead teacher if you are already not the lead teacher. You will be the one, you will have an activity planned so then they can see kind of how that interaction goes. And then they will look around the classroom, see what toys, what materials are available for the children. They will look at what's on your walls, all of that stuff. So, and then they will look over your professional portfolio. So they will only glance at it. They aren't, they're making sure that your training hours are in there. Your, everything is filled out. Your first aid and CPR is in there, that kind of thing. So they will look at that for an hour, and then they will also meet with you for an hour, one-on-one, to discuss like goal planning. Maybe they didn't see something in the classroom. They want to ask some clarifying questions. So that's a good time for that to happen. And then they will, and that'll be it. And they'll submit their scores. So how to prepare would be in the back of your CDA competency standards book. There are sections that the PD specialist, that's actually what they are going to pull out of your book, and they are going to grade you based on what they see. And so you can prepare yourself by looking through that back section before they come there, and make sure that you show these things or that you have these things in your classroom. And also just understanding and reaching out to that PD specialist. So you've already made that contact in the beginning before you submit your application. So then reach out to them again, ask them questions, ask them if they prefer like handwritten documents. Do they prefer typed documents? Ask if it's okay if, or like maybe you have some children in your classroom with behavioral issues. So like prepare them for that just in case something happens. Just reach out to them. They're not supposed to be a scary individual. What doors does the CDA credential open in terms of employment opportunities or advancement? So some programs, some centers will offer raises after obtaining a CDA credential. Some programs want you to have a CDA credential prior to being hired. So, I mean, you could go to a different program. There's a lot of things. It just shows that you have taken initiative in your own learning. Are there any specific training hours or courses that are required to qualify for the CDA credential? So, as I mentioned, there are 120 hours required. So in that, they split, the CDA Council requires you to have 10 hours in 8 competency areas. So there's a professional development area, there is a building family relationships, there is program planning, there is, which could be like lesson planning, there is physical and intellectual development, there is social, etc. So there's 8 of them. They require 10 hours in each, but that only adds up to 80 hours. So then you can mingle the extra 40 hours in any area. So you could do essentially 15 in each, there's your 120. Or you could do 20 in one and 15 in another, whatever it is, that as long as you have at least 10 in each and cover all 8 areas. What are some common challenges educators face when pursuing their CDA credential, and how can they overcome them? So a lot of it is nerves. They're not quite sure what to expect. They are nervous. And I had mentioned previously, reach out to that PD specialist or whoever you're taking your training with. Reach out to them and ask them questions. It shouldn't be a scary situation. It is there to help you. And another one is financial. So asking maybe your program pays for it. Maybe they'll reimburse you part of it, that kind of thing. So asking questions, asking everybody who can support you. Are there financial assistance options, scholarships, or grants programs to help cover CDA credential related costs? There are. On the CDA Council's website, you can find a section for scholarships. Sometimes there are centers that'll offer, as I had mentioned, centers that'll offer reimbursement for part of it, maybe reimbursement for all of it. Maybe you have to pay for the training portion, but they'll cover the application fee. You just have to work with people, ask questions, there are options out there. And lastly, what advice would you give to someone starting their CDA credential journey? So start your professional portfolio early. So you will purchase the CDA or the Competency Standards book from the CDA Council. It is $28, not including shipping. It is a requirement also in the process, but there's examples of different areas in the classroom that you can include. Maybe you realize you don't have any sensory items, so there are like pictures and what you might need to include. So it's a lot easier to do your professional portfolio along the way versus trying to rush all at the very end. And and then also having somebody review it. So maybe somebody that is a family member, somebody not in the field, and seeing if they understand what you're trying to say. Also, maybe having a coworker look at it too, so then they understand. And that is it. So comment if you have any questions, and good luck.